So, hi, you guys. Welcome to Shape It Up with Miss Spence and Miss Hathaway. Okay, so this week our standard is 2.G.1. So, we're going to recognize and draw triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, and hexagons having specified attributes, and also recognize and describe attributes of rectangular prisms and cubes. So, let's break it down. What are we talking about? Shapes. Okay, so we will be able to determine the differences in shapes by how many sides and angles they have. That is all. Okay, so our learning target. Remember, I know I can. I know I can identify triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, and hexagons based on the number of sides and angles they have. I know I can distinguish among triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, and hexagons based on their attributes. And whenever we see the word attributes, that just means characteristics. Like, how would you describe them? I know I can draw a shape with specific attributes given its name. For example, if I told you, draw me a triangle, you would know that a triangle has 3 sides, 3 angles. And I know I can recognize rectangular prisms and cubes. Our essential questions. How can we distinguish the difference between shapes? Like, what makes them different from one another? What are some specific attributes of the many quadrilaterals that makes them different from one another? Okay, so our vocabulary for this week, we have a lot. So make sure you get a pen, pencil, and a piece of paper and be sure to write them down. And you can pause the video whenever you want to do that. So a side is a segment that forms part of a two-dimensional shape. An angle, one of the corners of a shape where two sides meet. Quadrilateral, a two-dimensional closed shape with exactly 4 sides and 4 angles. A square, a quadrilateral with 4 square corners and all of the sides are the same length. A rectangle, a quadrilateral with 4 square corners and the opposite sides are the same length. A pentagon, a two-dimensional closed shape with exactly 5 sides and 5 angles. Some more vocabulary. The face. A face is a flat surface of a solid shape. Edge. A part of a solid shape where two faces meet. Triangle. A two-dimensional closed shape with exactly 3 sides and 3 angles. Hexagon. A two-dimensional closed shape with 6 sides and 6 angles. A cube, a solid shape like a box with 6 square faces and all of the edges of equal length. I messed that up. Rectangular prism, a solid shape with 6 rectangular faces. So this is our anchor chart. So take a second and you can pause if you need to, because this is important information. It's just going over what I just went over on the vocabulary slide. So we have our quadrilaterals. They show you the different types. We have a square, a rectangle, a trapezoid. We have 2 different triangles, circles or ovals, pentagons, and hexagons. And at the bottom in the little square, you see closed and open. So we must remember that a polygon is a closed shape. That means all sides meet at an angle.
And also remember, we're only focusing on 2D shapes. We're not focusing on 3D shapes.
Correct. Okay, so let's try it out. Let's read it together. Use what you know. Find circles, triangles, squares, and rectangles. So it says, Macy makes this collage with cutout shapes. How many circles, triangles, squares, and rectangles does she use? So we may need to pause for a second just to scope out the picture. Okay. So it says color the shapes as described below. Then write how many there are of each shape. So it says color the circles red. And I'm just going to use my handy dandy finger and just act like I'm doing that. So then it says color the triangles blue, color the squares yellow, and color the rectangles green. So have you figured out how many of each shape there are? Let's see. So did you get 3 circles? I did too. For our triangles, I counted 4 triangles. What about you? Remember, a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. Some triangles may not be the same in size or length, but once you get older, you'll figure out the different types of triangles there are. But right now, we are just focusing on that a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. So I counted 4. Color the squares yellow. Now, y'all, I really had to pay attention to this because looks can be deceiving. So I found 4 triangles. Did anyone get anything else different? Let me know, because teachers can be wrong sometimes. I counted 4.
I had to double count myself.
Right. Okay, and now our rectangle. So I counted 6 rectangles. What about you? You did too? Okay. So another thing to double check behind myself, I added up the total numbers together. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 4 is 11. And 11 plus 6 is 17. So when I counted all of the shapes together, I counted 17 shapes. So that is how I know I'm on the right track. Okay? So most shapes have sides and angles. Triangles have 3 sides, 3 angles. So you can see the sides there. You can see the angle. Angles are the little pointy things at the end. Quadrilaterals have 4 sides and 4 angles. Now there are many different types of quadrilaterals, so you can't get confused on them. But we'll study that as we go deeper into the week. Pentagons have 5 sides and 5 angles. And hexagons have 6 sides and 6 angles. So it says reflect, work with a partner, and you can talk to your parent or your sibling or your grandparents if you need to with this. It says look at the hexagons above, okay, in the yellow. Can the shape at the right be called a hexagon? Explain. So when I think about a hexagon, number 1, I remember Miss Spence saying that a hexagon has 6 sides and 6 angles. So what I'm going to do first is count the different sides of this shape. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I counted 8 sides. So can this be a hexagon? No. It is an octagon. An octagon has 8 sides and 8 angles. Okay? So example time. It's time for you to try and go on a little scavenger hunt at home. So it says find the following objects around your house based on the attributes. Remember, characteristics given. Find something with 3 sides, something with 4 sides, but all sides of equal lengths. Find something with 4 sides, but each opposite side the same. Find something with 5 sides and 5 angles. And find something with 6 sides and 6 angles. And once you have found those shapes, can you name what they are? Let's see if you remember.